Amrita, you are
Amrita, unmute.
Hello everyone, welcome to another season of Enlighteen Teen Talks. Season 6, Carnival of Fun. I'm Amrita, your host. I study in grade 5. My today is the speaker of the day, Iraya Datta, a class 10 student whose art truly belongs to me. Deeply inspired by soulful melody and meaningful lyrics, she believes that music is not real art. It expresses our emotions and connect with people. The topic she is going to speak about, books and beyond, how marks and skills would shape our future. Is a topic she truly she believes activity, resilience, and individuality. Thank you, everyone. Let us all warmly welcome Iraya. Iraya, the stage is yours.
Thank you, Mukta. Good evening, everyone.
good evening.
I'll be sharing my screen. Is my screen visible?
Yes.
Before we begin with today's session, I would like to ask, how many of you have studied a chapter right before an examination, walk inside the examination hall like you are Albert Einstein, but you forgot everything the moment you have stepped outside the examination hall? Be honest. Okay. Anyways, you don't have to worry about it. I cannot see your hands anyways. But I know most of you would raise them. And then suddenly, someone after the examination asks, what was chapter 3? And you're like, chapter 3 existed? Okay. But now think about this. How many of you have watched some random 5 minutes YouTube tutorial, maybe about a guitar, maybe about coding or some weird life hack, and have remembered it months later? Why? Because we have used it, we have experienced it, we applied it in real life. And honestly, that right there is the difference between only studying and actually building skills. Today, I am going to talk about something every teenagers think about but are too afraid to speak of. Studies are important, absolutely important, but skills are equally and more important. Now, before the toppers in the room start feeling personally attacked, let me clarify myself. I am not here to stay. Do not study. Please study. Otherwise, if your marks drop, I'll somehow get the blame for it. Anyways, I'm just saying that life is bigger than memorizing definitions at 2 a.m. while questioning the life choices you made that led you to that situation. And me, myself, being a teenager, I can be certain that we know this line by heart. Marks decide your future. And I'm pretty sure even the walls in our houses know them by heart. And yes, studies are extremely important. Education gives us knowledge. Engineers need studies, doctors need studies, scientists need studies. Imagine a doctor saying, relax, I did not study anatomy, but I believe in vibes. That is a big no thank you. So, yes, academics matter very much. Studies also teach us patience, it teaches consistency, it teaches us how we work towards goals even when we don't feel like it. And honestly, surviving maths itself builds emotional patience. But don't you think somewhere along the way the society started acting like marks are the only thing that matters? As if life is just one big question paper. And that is unfair. Think about school for a second. If a student scores 98%, everyone immediately says, future IAS officer, future doctor, future scientist. But when a student says, I can edit videos professionally or I'm a musician, or I can do coding. Everyone says, that's nice, beta, but what are your marks? As if percentages are your entire personality. And honestly, that mindset is unfair because marks cannot measure creativity, it cannot measure kindness, it cannot measure emotional intelligence. A report card cannot tell us how good someone is at helping people, or maybe solving life problems, or inspiring others. Human beings are much bigger than percentages. Now, one of the biggest truths in life is that every individual person is different, including the student. Some students are amazing academically, some are creative thinkers, some are natural leaders, some are incredible at music, some are incredible at sports, while some are incredible at technology or coding. And somehow people can also fix Wi-Fi better than adults. You know that very well. Parents will stare at the Wi-Fi router like it has personally betrayed them, and then they will call us, fix it. And then suddenly we become engineers. But seriously, success is not one fit all. Imagine a world where everybody becomes maths teachers. Who would be directing music? Who would be directing films? Who would create art? Society survives because different people bring different skills. Now, have you ever thought about what the real world actually needs? The world today is changing really fast, and companies do not just want people who can memorize information. They want people who can communicate. They want people who lead teams. They want people who can think creatively, adopt quickly. Because honestly, Google already exists. Half the information we memorize can be searched up online in maybe less than 3 seconds or maybe 3 seconds. But skills, those take efforts, those take patience, those take experience. Now, I want you all to imagine two students. One gets perfect marks but struggles to communicate, panics under pressure, cannot work with others. Whereas the second student has decent marks but knows how to speak confidently, can manage time, can lead a team, and can learn quickly. Who do you think will survive better in in the real world? Comment down in the chat box. Continuing. You know why the person whom you have chosen will survive better in the real world? Because life does not come with multiple choice questions. Suppose your friend is very angry with you, and suddenly a question flashes in front of your eyes. The question is, your friend is angry with you. Option A, you forgot their birthday. Option B, you replied K to a long paragraph. Option C, you ate all the fries. And option D, all of the above. Suppose this situation happens with you, what will you be choosing? Okay, I'm getting a lot of D's here. Okay, so now, one of the most important skills in life is communication because you cannot be intelligent. You may be intelligent, you may be hardworking, you may be talented, but if you cannot express your ideas properly, people may never truly understand your potential. And honestly, many teenagers, me being myself, are afraid to speak, are scared of embarrassment, scared of judgment, scared of making mistakes. But confidence is not something people are magically born with. It's a skill. Every confident speaker was once afraid of the stage. Every confident musician today was once afraid to go up on stage. Even the babies nowadays, cry like they're apologizing sometimes. Confidence grows with patience and practice. Another important thing about life is problem solving because adulthood, from what I have learned, is basically people pretending to know what they're doing. Adults look calm outside, but inside they're also thinking, now what? And that is why skills matter. Schools often teach us what to think, but skills teach us how to think. And real life is unpredictable. We memorize math formulas, but skills teach us patience and logical thinking. We memorize essays in English, but communication skills help us express our thoughts. We study history, but critical thinking helps us understand the present. Sometimes there is no textbook answers, no correct option, no ask your teacher tomorrow. Why? Because problem solving teaches us how to stay calm during different situations and also difficult situations. Skills give us application, studies gives us information. Studies build foundation, skills gives us confidence. Skills teach action, and studies teaches us facts. And honestly, knowledge without application is purely and completely incomplete. You may memorize theory completely and perfectly, but if you cannot apply them in real life, that knowledge stays inside notebooks, collecting dust. The most successful people are usually the ones who combine both what they know and what they can do. Another thing skills teaches is independence. Schools teach us subjects, skills teach us survival. Knowing chemistry is important, but knowing how to communicate properly and respectfully is important too. Knowing biology is important, but knowing how to handle anxiety, stress is useful as well. Knowing calculations help, but knowing how to manage money is also very useful. Because life is not divided into subjects. Nobody says, today from 4 to 5 p.m., I will be experiencing maths emotionally. Life often mixes things together, and that is why balance matters. People treat studies and skills like enemies, but honestly, they are teammates. Studies gives us knowledge, and skills helps us use that knowledge. Without studies, we lack information, we lack understanding, and without skills, we struggle to apply what we know. Think of it this way. Studies are like downloading information, and skills are learning how to actually use the software because both matter. And being very honest, I really like this comparison. Studies are like collecting tools, and skills are like learning how to actually build something with those tools. You can study communication theories forever, but real communication improves only through practice. You can study leadership, but leadership develops when you actually work with people. And that is why both matters. Now, let us talk about something every student feels failure. Because studies sometimes make us believe that if we get one bad mark, it is the end of the world. Results day feels less like receiving marks, but more like waiting for the final judgment. Parents become still, teachers become motivational speakers, and relatives somehow become career counselors. One marks less, and suddenly someone says, you know, Sharma just got 99%. And at this point, I genuinely want to meet Shamaji's son. Does he actually exist, or is he just a random fictional character created to scare students? But seriously, one thing skills teachers very well is failure is normal. Musicians make mistakes during practice, athletes lose matches, public speakers forget their lines, and even coders face errors every single day. Skills teach resilience, and resilience is one of the most important things in life because nobody becomes successful without failure. Not athletes, not singers, not entrepreneurs. Even the Wi Fi router fails daily, but and it will still restart confidently. Then why can't we? Failure is not proof that someone is weak, it is proof that someone is actually trying. Sometimes schools accidentally train us to fear mistakes instead of learning from them. Students become afraid of asking questions because they don't want to sound dumb. But asking questions is intelligent. Curiosity itself is a
The
skill.
photo kam manage कर रही हूँ कि छोकरे टेन talk में
Not everyone silently memorizes everything silently and without understanding it. As a teenager, we are in a strange phase of life. We are old enough to feel pressure, and young enough to still be figuring life out. And sometimes it feels like our entire future depends on percentages. But let me say this clearly. Your marks are important, but they are not your entire identity. A report card cannot measure your communication skills, it cannot measure your leadership, It cannot measure your emotional intelligence. It cannot measure your adaptability. And it certainly cannot measure your teamwork. Imagine life had report cards and the feedbacks would be like excellent teamwork or needs improvement in replying on time or maybe very confident in presenting but suddenly becomes shy while ordering food in the restaurant. And unfortunately, the last option is very relatable. Now, I'm not saying everyone should abandon studies and become influencers. Some of you have already imagined ring lights or and vlogging channels. And that is not the point here. The point is balance. Study seriously, absolutely, but also learn communication, teamwork, leadership, emotional control, and most importantly, self care. The future belongs to people who can continue learning. Technology changes, jobs change, the world itself is changing. The ability to learn new skills may become even more important than memorizing all information. And honestly, one of the best learning happens outside textbooks. You learn responsibility from experience, confidence from trying, maturity from mistakes, and empathy from conversations. Life itself becomes a teacher. And teenagers today already have incredible skills. Some edit videos professionally, some know programming, some run online businesses, some are incredible writers, and some are amazing speakers. And some are emotionally supportive friends. And that things matter. Never let anyone convince you they don't. Students grow best when they are encouraged. So, yes, study hard, respect education, take academics seriously, but also respect skills, respect creativity, respect talent, individuality. Because marks may help you enter opportunities, but skills will help you survive and grow inside that opportunity. A degree may open the door, but skills decide whether you can stay in the room. And I think that is something our generation is slowly realizing. We do not want careers. We want growth, confidence, and we want purpose. We want to become complete human beings and not walking report cards. But there is one more thing I would like to talk about pressure. Because if there is one thing students today perfectly understand is pressure. Pressure to score well, to choose the correct career, to make parents proud, to keep up with everyone else. And social media makes it even worse. Don't you think? Because everywhere we look, someone our age is doing something extraordinary. Someone is starting a business online, one teenager is winning competitions, another one is winning competitions, another one is becoming famous online, while another is studying 16 hours apparently, which sounds very unfair. And suddenly we start feeling behind in life before a life has even properly begun. But here is something important we all should remember. Not everyone discovers their talent at the same age. Some figure out at the age of 15, while some figure out at the age of 25, or some even later. And that is okay. Life is not a race where everybody starts from the same line. Sometimes we compare our chapter 2 to someone's chapter 20, and comparison is dangerous because it slowly makes people feel like they are never enough. But success is not only about being better than others. Sometimes success is simply about becoming a better version of yourself than who you were yesterday. Slow improvement, learning slowly, growing slowly, even small progress matters. And honestly, teenagers today deserve more credit. People often say this generation is distracted, but they forget that this generation is also handling pressure in a different way, in a way that they have never handled it before. Constant competition, constant comparison, constant fear of failure, expectations, and so on. And despite all that, we students wake up early in the morning, get ready for school, go to school, try again, and keep moving forward. That itself deserves appreciation. Schools teaches us subjects very well, But life also requires emotional intelligence. We need to learn. We need to learn how to handle stress, how to deal with anxiety, how to manage emotions, how to deal with rejection, and most importantly, how to understand people. Because sometimes the smartest person in the room is not the one who scores the highest. It is the one who can understand people the best. Empathy matters, listening matters, and emotional skills and intelligence and control, they also matter. And being very honest, being calm during group projects should qualify as a superpower itself. Now, this is one topic that resonates with most of us very well. Creativity has often been underestimated. People think creativity belongs only to artists, but creativity exists everywhere. Creative scientists make discoveries, creative entrepreneurs make this business, creative teachers inspire students, and creativity itself helps people think differently. It is powerful. And one thing I truly admire about teenagers is how quickly we learn skills when we are passionate about that particular thing. Nobody tells teenagers how to edit videos professionally, but they somehow learn it. Nobody teaches meme timing academically, but somehow people have mastered it scientifically. Honestly, memes themselves deserve a research paper at this point. But jokes aside, passion makes people learn faster. And that is why students perform better when they're actually interested in that thing. And genuinely speaking, fear creates pressure, and pressure itself creates anxiety. And I think education sometimes becomes the most meaningful when curiosity is involved, not when students simply study just to survive the exams. Because let's be honest, most students after exams react like escaped prisoners. The moment the final bell rings, suddenly everyone becomes emotional throwing peppers here and there, someone screaming dramatically, friends hugging for absolutely no reason at all. And then, after 2 days maximum, everyone forgets half the syllabus anyways, which again proves something very important. Memorizing temporarily is not the same as learning meaningfully. Real learning stays, and the real learning often happens through experience. For example, a student organizing a school event learns leadership. A student playing sports learns discipline, resilience, and the true value of teamwork. A student creating content learns creativity and consistency. A student volunteering learns empathy. These experiences shape personality. And personality matters in the real world because, after a point, success is not just about intelligence, it's also about attitude, behavior, communication, discipline, and adaptability. And one of the biggest skills anyone can ever have is the ability to keep learning because no one knows everything, not students, not teachers, and not adults. Everyone is learning as they go. Even adults pretend to confidently search up how to send PDFs properly while being confident. And technology is changing constantly. New careers, new opportunities, all of these are appearing every year. Some jobs today did not even exist probably maybe 10 years or 20 years ago, which means students today are preparing for a future that is still changing. And that is very important. Because people who only depend on memorize information are not having an advantage to the people who are actually learning new skills quickly. And that is why skills matter more than ever before. Many students have sacrificed their talents because they have been told they don't matter in the future. And honestly, that is heartbreaking. Because imagine how many students have given up writing, or maybe how many musicians have stopped singing, or artists have stopped dreaming, how many athletes have stopped practicing, just because they were made to feel that their talent was less important. But the world needs skills. We admire actors for performances, athletes for discipline, entrepreneurs for innovation, leaders for communication. These are skills even the people interviewing toppers often succeed because of communication skills. Irony. And let us be honest, schools teaches us algebra beautifully, but another thing we need to know is we seriously need to stop students feeling ashamed for having different dreams. Not everyone wants to become the same thing. Not everyone wants to become a doctor. Not everyone wants to become a scientist, and that is very normal. One student may dream of becoming maybe a filmmaker, maybe an entrepreneur, or maybe a therapist, or maybe a clinical psychologist, or even maybe you want to create music. Different dreams do not make anyone less important. अभी हम लोग I have been talking so much. Now, I want you all to write down in the chat box, including the parents, teachers, adults, everyone here, present here. I want you all to write down what you dream of. If you have survived the dream, if you are walking towards the dream, or are you still living the dream? Okay, continue. What is the point of achieving success in something you never even loved? Life should never feel like a punishment. And no, following your passion does not mean avoiding hard work. People only see the result. They do not see the practice behind it. They do not see the failures behind it. A guitarist practices every day for years. Athletes train constantly. And singers themselves sing one thing repeatedly just to get it correct. Public speakers overcome their fear repeatedly. Skills are not shortcuts. They require dedication. They require patience. They require experience. They require practice. And honestly, balancing studies and skills is probably one of the hardest things we teenagers try to do because there are only 24 hours a day, and half of those disappear in thinking what snack I should have during while studying. Now, balance is very, very important. We learn everything, we learn new things consistently. We learn to make a difference. We need to learn one thing consistently to make a difference. Reading, speaking confidently, learning technology, writing, even managing time or improving communication. Small skills become big strengths over time. And one day, those skills will open doors we had never expected. So, to every student, parents, or anyone and everyone listening today, allow yourself to grow beyond textbooks. Try new things, develop skills, make mistakes, learn from them. Discover who you are outside marks and percentages. Because one exam cannot define your future. One judgment cannot explain who you are. One failure cannot show your capability, your potential. Discover who you are outside marks, judgment, percentages, and anything that has stopped you from going ahead. So, the next time someone asks, what is more important, studies or skills? Maybe the real answer is skills help us build a future, but studies help us survive it. Studies help us earn opportunities, and skills help us make most of them. Skills teach us lessons from life, and studies teach us lessons from textbooks. And when both come together, they create confident, capable, and balanced people. People who are not only educated, but people who are also confident in life, who are confident in speaking, who are confident in managing themselves confidently. Thank you. And one last question before I finish today. How many of the students present here have already thought about taking lines from this speech in front of your parents uh, before or after results? Please do not expose me. Thank you so much.
Yes, हाँ, मुक्ता?
Thank you everyone for being present at another session of Enlighteen Teen Talks. I, as a student, truly believe in the topic books and beyond, why marks and skills both shape our future. I hope that this topic will come to some use for you. Stay tuned for more interesting podcasts and topics. Thank you. This is your host Amukta signing off. Bye bye.
Thank you, Amukta, and thank you, Iraya. It was a very nice session.
Welcome.
Yeah, both of you have done so well. And I request who all are present in the audience today to please come up and share their feedback. And if anyone has a question, you can ask the question right here. I'm sure Iraya will love to answer them. So do we have
Yes,
teens? And
absolutely.
yeah, question or maybe share their own story that, this is how I would like to now approach this topic with my parents. Any tips, any takeaways that you have taken from today's session? You can share that. Yes, Shivanshi.
Hello, Iraya. I have a question. Is she there?
Yes, she's there. She's spotlighted. Yes.
Okay.
Hello,
Iraya,
yes, I'm here. I'm here.
yeah, Iraya, in today's competitive world, do you think our education system focuses too much on marks and too little on real life skills? What changes would you
Yes.
suggest? So can
If
you
you
tell?
ask me, I would, yes, of course, I would love to.
Yeah.
If being honest, education has always, like today's education system, has always focused on marks,
Yeah.
improving marks, percentages, focusing on report cards, how they will work in the future. But they don't think about the skills that the student has. Many parents themselves often ignore what their child wants just to make them go for what they want to, like the parents want. So one thing I would really like to, like I myself as a teenager would really appreciate that if a parent or even the education system, the teachers in the school or maybe seniors and everyone encourages an individual student to go for their talents as well. Encouragement is necessary because there is constant comparison, competition, and reassurance. This means the world to every teenager nowadays.
So, how to
So,
convince our parents?
That's the difficult part, isn't it?
Yeah. Thank you for answering.
Thank you for the question.
yes. Thank you for the question, Shivanshi. It was very relevant. I'm sure many must be thinking कि हाँ ये इसका कोई आंसर बता दे कि पेरेंट्स को कैसे समझाया जाए. Yes, Ritvi.
Yeah, I don't have any question, but I just wanted to say that Abukta and Iraya, you did a really nice job, and I really loved the way you spoke. And Iraya, I really loved the presentation you made. So
Thank you
yeah,
so much.
thank
Thank
you
you
for
so much,
today's
Ritu.
session.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Ritvi, for your kind words. Anyone else would like to come and give up their feedback and give our teenagers some blessings? They are indeed doing a very good job, and they would love to hear from you. Anyone? Yes, Sandhya?
Uh, I'm coming first time for the teen talk, and looking at these teen talks makes me feel very proud of every child who's there and every parent who's giving their child this opportunity, because this is a wonderful platform and you guys have done a fantastic job, and the team of teen enlighten is rocking and are doing a fantastic job. God bless you. May many more children come here. May many more parents bring their children out and let them speak, because they have a different voice. We have our own notions, and this is the only platform where we get to know what is running in their head. We have our opinions, and I think it's very important in today's world to understand what is it that they want, and that is helps us as parents to understand how we can handle them. So we need to listen more. Like we always say, batein kam karo, suno more, so listen more to what our children have to say. I think this is a wonderful platform. Thank you guys, and both you girls, thumbs up, mwah, and big hugs and kisses from me.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you so much, Sandhya ma'am.
Yes, as you said, ki these topics are need to be discussed, and coming from a teen herself adds more reality to it. And when we need to discuss this, and we are thankful for this platform, and we are thankful for these teens who are coming up with these topics with such clarity, with such balance. She has spoken about not only just studies but also skills. Not only EQ but also IQ is important. So yeah, we are happy that we could discuss this topic today with parents, with coaches, with students here. And on this note, I would like to say goodbye to all of you and wait for our next session, which is happening on Tuesday. It is a podcast. Again, a very interesting topic. So stay tuned. Bye for now. Have a good evening, everyone.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you. Thank
Thank
you, everyone.
you. Yes.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, everyone. Love you all.